Alright, I want to take the opportunity to go through a very common mistake we see when creating SSI files. So here you can see this patient is missing tooth number 19, and we're going to be placing an implant there. And part of the concept is always, again, restoratively driven implantology. So in other words, we will take a upper jaw, lower jaw, a bite, so that way now we can actually design our restoration and have it ready in ideal occlusion. And here you can see my assistant drew a pretty nice tooth here from a perspective of how it looks here. Let's see here. We can see that that's not what I wanted to do, sorry. We can see that we've drawn a pretty nice tooth here and here. It's within the arch form pretty well. Everything looks quite nice here. My only area of complaint on this is going to be in terms of the gingival margin here. And here we can see that the circle is drawn, but then typically one of the mistakes is often it's not looked at from this perspective. And so what I like to do is look at it from right here, and what I can see is, what I'll mentally do is I will draw out where this is, and from my perspective that margin line should be right here, not down here. So we need to get rid of that there. And the same thing would apply here on the lingual as well. When you look at it from the straight on lingual there, is I would mentally draw my lines like so, and I would want to see it looks like so. So pretty much all of this right here needs to go away. Now in order to do that, what you'll do is you'll go back to the model phase here, and in the model phase you can redraw your margin without losing your design. So when I come in here to redraw my margin, what I'll do is simply look at it straight on here, and I'll just come in like so, and then I'll come in here from the buccal, and same thing, you want it to come to about right here, so like so. And I know that doesn't look exactly correct, but that's going to be, from the occlusal it doesn't look exactly correct, but that's going to be our emergence profile. And then when you go back to the design, you'll see that what you'll see happen here is the occlusal and the overall design won't change, just the gingival area should be the part that changes there, just like so, okay? And now what we have is something that better represents a ideal restoratively driven implant placement. And then in this case, we'll come in here and, you know, smooth out some of the issues right in here. You know, we'll still go ahead and get our restoration in the right area. And then one of the things I'll see in this particular case, by drawing it this way, and for looking at where my ideal is we can see that we're going to have a significant defect here. So this may be a case where I want to consider some type of tissue grafting or some type of bone grafting or combination grafting to really achieve an ideal result. And the reason we can't achieve an ideal result here right now is not because our tooth is in the wrong spot. Quite frankly, it's just that we're missing tissue there. And then right here you can see our emergence looks pretty nice there. So this is how I would make changes to this particular SSI file to allow us to better see where the margin is, or where the margin should ideally be, and then we can apically plan our implant from there. Hopefully this makes sense, and thank you very much.